first game on Friday night, Fletchy. We have the Raiders versus the Bulldogs, mate. Jordan Rapana is back. The Bulldogs have named an unchanged 17 from their loss to the Panthers. They've been on real good lately, Fletchy. The Bulldogs have never won at Magic Round though.
No, but this is the stats we always hear about the Bulldogs the last 5 years. You know, they have.
You throw them out now?
I throw them out now.
Yeah.
It was it's a totally different squad, a totally different attitude. So I'm with Shawnee. I think they're morals.
Well, the Raiders have won their past 8, so obviously that coincides with the. But it's not like the Raiders have been crash hot in the last 3 or 4 years, have they? They had that. Was the grand final 19?
19, yeah.
Then they dropped off slightly in
Made
20.
The 8 last year.
Yeah, they did too.
Made the 8
yeah, I like the Bulldogs, mate. I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be low scoring.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Friday night we've got the second game of Seagulls and the Bronx. Cole is named at fullback. Tommy Talau moves in the centres. Raymond, our man, Vega on the wing. Vega. Is that how I pronounce it?
Vaanga. Raymond Vaanga.
Vaanga on the wing.
I believe so.
Olakawatu returns from suspension.
That's a big in.
Massive in. You can see. So I reckon Daly's form the last couple of weeks has been a little bit off.
Without having the big fella.
I reckon, for sure. Just the confidence he brings.
I think there were a couple of times where when it sort of starts to break down for him, sometimes he just throws it to
early
Holly,
balling,
and he just
goes.
Skittles 3 people, and then they roll their shape.
Definitely,
so they've missed that.
Definitely. For the Bronx, Jockey Madden is named at halfback. I thought the other kid went all right. Buck Rogers.
Did go good.
For his second game. I thought he was impressive. The blender, well, he's at hooker. Billy Walters out. And Blakey Moser is on the bench. Big raps on him. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I've just what I've heard over the last couple of years, he was apparently the next up. But Billy Walters, the form that he's been in, he's going to be a big loss. He's been solid for him through the middle. He's one of the unsung heroes up there.
Yeah,
Billy Walters.
He's one of those players that every team needs, and this is what I reckon why Madge is going to go with McInnes. You just need a bloke who's going to go out there and make 30 or 40 tackles. And if you can set up a try or make a try, or score a try, that's a bonus. But you need those blokes in the middle, putting kick pressure on, doing all that stuff in Origin. So that's a bit of a...
I feel like I've heard Cam McInnes' name as much as any player for New South Wales in the last couple of weeks. He feels like he is all but locked.
Yeah.
With the amount of people that are talking up Cam McInnes.
I'm hearing he's starting at hooker.
Yeah.
And Reece Walsh, beautiful eyes. He scored 5 tries from 4 games at Suncorp Stadium.
He's on fire. I thought he played. Him and Ezra were good last week. Without Adam Reynolds, I worried about whether they would go a little bit too willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But he pulled it back a touch. Made a few errors at the end, but they're already in a big lead.
Yeah, but they can make errors because
they can score straight after.
Gay abandonment. I used that today on the golf course too, didn't I?
You did too.
That was good. Who do you like here, mate?
I like the Broncos by a minute.
Yeah, all right, I'm with you. Your next one.
Yep, sorry, I'm just scrolling down. The next game, we've got Davey Armstrong's Knights versus the Titans. That'll be an emotional game now for the Titans, won't it? Chris Randall and Sam Verrills are the halves, though, mate. So no AJ Brimson, no Kieran Foran. So Aaron Clark moves to hooker. That's 3 hookers playing 7, 6 and 9, Fletchy.
Well, nothing wrong with having 3 hookers in your
3
team.
hookers, how good. Jack Cogger comes in for Tyson Gamble. He didn't finish there. He went off at halftime last week. And David Fafita has scored 7 tries in the past 5 games against the Knights.
Is there anyone who scores more tries from dummy half than David Fafita?
I was going to say, can we get a market for dummy half tries, scooting from dummy halves?
It's a ploy by them.
He actually scores more than hookers.
He does.
That's 4 hookers now.
That is. But Sugar reckons Dreamweaver, Tommy Weaver, is named in the squad. So he seems to think that he will move into 7.
Yeah, he seems like a likely candidate. Neither Chris Randall or Sam Verrills, even though they're hookers, they don't strike me as a 7 or 6 combo. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do there.
Okay, who do you like?
I like the Knights.
Because of the outs.
Because of the outs.
Brimo's a big out.
Brimo and Foran have been outs. Little Fozzie, he just keeps on going.
Doesn't he what? He's enjoying life up there. All right, let's go to Sharks and Roosters. This is the game of the Magic Round. Nico Hines is named for the Sharks, but as we know, calves, they take a little bit while.
Yeah.
You think they're
soft
good.
Tissue.
You think they're okay, and then you just put them under fatigue and they can go. So if he plays, I'd be very surprised. Blake Brayley is back to hooker. Cam McInnes is at lock. No Joey Manu for the Chooks, but the Cheese returns. And Connor Watson. There's been, I saw in the Herald today, I think.
His name's been tossed around for Origin.
Yeah. Saying a utility role.
He's been outstanding.
We can't have him, Appy, and Cam McInnes.
No. Appy looks like he's busted at the moment. He looks like his back is... There was about 3 weeks ago where he limped off at the end of the pre-game.
Yeah.
And there was question marks whether he was going to play. He ended up playing, didn't finish, then missed next week.
That's right, yeah.
But he looks like he's too tough for his own good, one of those ones. Do you think there's enough wiggle room for the Sharkies to go, we're at the top of the ladder, we probably want to think Nico long-term, he's probably going to play Origin, maybe we rest him for this week, Fletchy? Or is it too big a game against a contender at the end of the year? Do you want your best players playing?
If he's fit, you're picking him, definitely. But I can't see. I heard him on the radio. I don't know whether it was on SEN. Might have been. I think it was on SEN, and he was talking about how they had to get the blood sort of after he tore his calf.
Yeah.
But when he mentioned blood and tearing of the calf, I thought that's not a 1 week jobby.
Yeah. If you're 90% with a guy like Nico Hines, you don't want it. You don't want that extra 1 week to turn into 6.
No, and especially what the young fellas did. That Daniel Atkinson down there. This will be a huge test for him.
Yeah,
I know they beat Melbourne down there, which was huge, but the Roosters are absolutely airborne. They've got the hot hand at the moment. So
I'm going to go against you though, Fletchy. I'm going to go the Sharks. In this one.
Okay, all right. Are you thinking that the Chooks have had it too easy the last month?
Look, they're both in really good form. I just think the Sharks. I'm seeing some signs of the Sharks. I've seen, Wade Graham was talking about it. Actually, they're trying to build a culture down there.
Yep.
If you are going to build a culture, both of these two teams have sort of been waiting for this clash.
Yeah.
I know the Sharkies played the Storm last week, but no Jerome Hughes and Ryan Pappenhausen within a week can throw a team out. So I reckon this will be the biggest test for them.
All right, I'm against you. I'm on the Chooks.
All right, the Rabbitohs versus Cowboys. The Rabbitohs have won 4 straight. No, sorry, the Rabbitohs have 4 straight losses. Cowboys 5 straight losses. So you'd think maybe a draw. Alex Johnston and Jacob Gagai return from injury. Murray Talangi and Jordan McLean return for the Cowboys. The Rabbitohs have won all of their Magic Round games, and the Rabbitohs have won 7 of their past 8 games against the Cowboys.
Oh, Cows can't get a read, or can get a read on them. Their defence, it's just like they don't want it enough. It's like when you're playing like under 10s and under 11s and you just can't wait to get the ball back to attack. It's like they haven't earned the right yet. They sort of, when they play, they sort of just get through their defensive, and the other team has marched up, 70 or 80 metres, and they go, right, it's our turn. Let's zing it. Yep. Zing, zing, zing. Let's get drinky in the middle. It doesn't seem to me they put that much emphasis on their defence.
They're similar to me, like the Broncos, where they play that attack, but the Broncos back it up with defence, where these guys don't. Cowboys don't. So they want to play footy, but at the moment, and the hardest thing with the Cowboys too, when you've got a stacked team like this, it's not the same person doing it week in, week out. It's always a different, 1 or 2. So they're a hard one because they've got so much talent.
So much talent, and it's.
I think on paper you'd be going the Cowboys. I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. I gave up on the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
it served me well. I went Titans last
week
against them as well
I was with the Titans with you. This is a big call. I've gone the Cows, but now you might have talked me out. Anyway, Sunday, Storm versus Eels. This is the game where a couple of years ago, 2019, I would say, when Pappenhausen just went berserk.
Yes,
remember they just
that's
pumped
right.
him? So Xavier Coates, he's back in from another hamstring injury. Jerome Hughes, Mitch Moses, still sidelined. They won't be. But this kid, Blaze Talagi, named at fullback. He had a few errors in him, but every time he got the ball, something was doing. Can you see an upset here? Can you see an upset?
I can, just because of the nose Jerome Hughes still.
Yep.
And Pappenhausen, obviously. You look on the other side, young, exciting fullback as well. I'm excited to watch both these two young fullbacks, Farlongo and Talangi. Farlongo didn't have his best game last week.
They did a good job on him.
They did, they really
did a good job on him.
Compressed the field on him, he sort of, both of them look like they haven't developed that pass at this level yet. So you apply a bit of pressure up and in on them a little bit more. You take away their running game. Because Blaze Talangi went straight through the middle of the Broncos.
They're coming through. They've come through as kids, just give them the ball and I'll beat you by myself. It's a bit harder when you get into the NRL.
What Blaze Talangi? So they've chat throughout the week or last week before he ended up going to fullback. How does he all fit into next year? How do you see that playing out next year, Fletcher?
Well, they came out. Brad Arthur came out and said, we want an X Factor player. They wanted to give Gutherson a rest and put Gutho more closer, maybe a centre or something like that. But they wanted an X Factor fullback, they kept saying. Jaden Campbell was going to be their X Factor.
Yeah.
They've got one in this kid.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not great that he's declined to take up this offer.
Yeah.
That doesn't fill me with confidence from an Eels man.
This is the sort of signing that strikes me your gang.
The Chooks?
Yeah. I don't know if you're trying to keep that on the line.
No, I don't.
It would not surprise me that they go and get a young superstar like this to the Chooks.
Who's been brought up, who's been training, and he's done all his grounding and his coaching and all his getting coached to a level of first grade, and now they'll pinch him.
Yeah, so if you just say if he was to stay at Parramatta, they end up getting that done.
I think he's got to be fullback.
He's got to be fullback, right? So Gutho moves to centres with Will Penasini.
All right.
Zach Lomax ends up on the wing.
Last game. That's you, mate.
All right, the West Tigers versus the Dolphins, and we quick with this one. Alex Seyfarth and Alex Twal moving to the starting lineup for John Bateman and Isaiah Papali'i. The hammer is back for the Dolphins with Trey Fuller moved to 18th man. He was really good, Fletchy, filling in as well. Kenny Bromwich comes in for Max Plath. Your boy, he's out. Max Plath's out.
Yeah.
And West Tigers captain Api Carousel will play his 200th NRL game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He looks a little bit busted. I'm going the Dolphins. Hammer is back.
Dolphins
look
look really
young
good.
Trey Fuller? How good's he going?
He's similar to Dave Armstrong. He's come in and they've strung together two or three wins. Did they start beating the Parramatta Eels too, the Dolphins? And he's won 2 or 3 in a row now too.
This is what I don't, when people say, there's not enough talent to go around for an 18th team. We just saw it in young Dave Armstrong and Trey Fuller.
Yeah.
They're out there. Maxi Plath couldn't get a run.
It's the coaches. We don't
100%.
have the caliber of the
We don't
coaches.
have the coaches.
All right,
that's
the NRL round preview. Visit Ironwood's new fully stocked warehouse in Botany for up to 25% off. Ironwood.com.au.